McLaren was thrilled to extend its championship lead in Singapore, but also that its controversial rear wing is distracting its rivals. The squad was under fire in Marina Bay for running a low-drag wing that featured a mini DRS, with an additional slot gap opening up along the straights to aid its performance. But while the squad voluntarily modified the wing after talks with the FIA, following chatter within the paddock that it was not legal, team principal Andrea Stella was relaxed in his assessment. Instead, putting the focus back on the teams who've complained. They're using this time and energy to chase something that I think is a red herring. So for me, as McLaren, that's just good news, he said. The FIA was under fire in Singapore after its president Mohammed bin Sulayem revealed he had asked F1 to limit bad language over team radio during races, as we're not rappers. F1 team radio was first broadcast at the inaugural Chinese Grand Prix in 2004 and all races from 2006, the start of the V8 engine era. But while swearing used to preclude a message from being broadcast, it's now censored with beeps, which displeased the FIA's driver-turned-president, who said the sport needed to differentiate itself from rap music. When I used to drive in the dust, I would get upset, bin Sulayem said. But also, we have to be careful with our conduct. We need to be responsible people. The response was explosive, with Red Bull's Max Verstappen refusing to talk in press conferences after he was ordered to do work of public interest for swearing in reply to bin Sulayem, while Mercedes' Lewis Hamilton said there was a racial element to the president's words. Oscar Piastri's race engineer Tom Stallard says the McLaren driver's rate of improvement hasn't dulled since his 2023 F1 debut, suggesting he's got what it takes to become a future world champion. Piastri has been a star of the season as the grid's top scorer across the last 9 races. But former Olympic rower Stallard told official podcast F1 Nation that the Aussie is still learning, with massive strides made on tyre management in 2024.
His rate of improvement hasn't really dulled in 39 races. He keeps learning, he keeps improving, he keeps wanting information, going through stuff. We discuss things, he goes and executes it. So for me, if you're improving at that rate, what's the limit?
Valtteri Bottas may be in pole position to retain his Sauber seat for 2025, but rival squads are lining up to offer their drivers as a strong alternative. McLaren development driver and F2 star Gabriel Bortto is one option, with team principal Andrea Stella stating that he won't stand in his way to race in F1 as long as return options are in place. We will be definitely interested in finding a way to keep him in the McLaren family, because I think he's a talent that in the future could be important for McLaren, Stella said. It's equally important for Williams, who are open to Sauber taking on their standout stand-in Franco Colapinto within his existing contract. I have always been a firm believer that you have to let good drivers race, so we'll see if we can find a way of working with Audi in that circumstance, said team boss James Vowles. Red Bull is tightening its operation in the face of tougher competition, with heavier special liveries axed and its race team reshuffled. The champion squad were overtaken by rival McLaren in the constructors' standings after Azerbaijan for the first time in 55 races, with Ferrari eyeing up its own pass for second. Red Bull was set to run a fan-inspired scheme on its RB20 in Singapore, but ditched the idea at the concept stage after it was discovered it would add 1 kilogram in weight. while the outfit will split outgoing sporting director Jonathan Wheatley's responsibilities with Gian-Piero Lambiasi, its new head of racing, while staying Verstappen's engineer. Red Bull's sister team RB, however, ran a denim-inspired special livery to celebrate its partnership with Hugo Boss. Mercedes is pushing flat out to deliver its last major upgrade for the year at the 12th United States Grand Prix held in Austin. The Silver Arrows won 3 of the last 4 races leading into the sport's summer break, including Belgium. But the squad has since struggled for consistent pace across tyre compounds. In spite of a podium in Baku, with Singapore another mountain to climb, where George Russell went full Street Fighter to retain his 4th place against Ferrari's Charles Leclerc.
You know, the spec of the car is always evolving. We're always trying to bring performance to every race. But then at the moment, our main focus is on bringing a bigger package to Austin. Then we get into the final 6 races of the year, and there will be smaller things beyond that. But that's certainly what we're working for at the moment is a bigger update to the car at the Austin race.
F1's first ever rookie sprint race is set to be given the green light, with the sports power brokers keen for the idea at the Abu Dhabi postseason test. Seat time and current machinery is heavily restricted, with just 3 days for pre-season testing, 1 post-season, and 2 more for filming, forcing teams to run private tests for young drivers in 2-year-old cars. But while the post-season test is a crucial day for rookies ahead of their debuts, with teams having to run a car for a driver that has no more than 2 F1 starts, the sport's top brass are keen to boost experience further. This is a non-championship race for the junior drivers. I think it's a fantastic opportunity, said Red Bull's team boss Christian Horner. Ex-F1 driver Bernd Schneider says that restrictive working hour rules and regulations stop German teams from competing in the sport. The 60-year-old, who enjoyed just 9 starts with Zach Speed and Arrows from 1988 to 1990, told F1's official podcast Beyond the Grid that while getting talent to relocate from the UK was once a major issue, now it's employee hours, which are capped at 48 per week.
If you said we have to prepare the car for the race, now we day and night work, doesn't work in Germany, it's not allowed. So we have so strictly rules that we cannot run a Formula One team or a racing team.
Mercedes' works team is based in the UK, though 2026 entrant Audi is developing its power plant on German soil in Neuburg. Singapore may have one of the best night races on the F1 calendar, but local pride is set for a boost with news that 17-year-old Christian Ho will become the first Singaporean to race in Formula 3 next year. Ho was 4th in the 2020 World Junior Karting Championship and has impressed early on with the runner-up spot overall in 2023's Spanish F4 Series and in Eurocup 3 this year. Ho, who left the cosmopolitan city-state when he was 10, will announce which team he'll race for next year at a later date. But he's dreaming big, with plans to race at Marina Bay in the future.
Well, I think it'll be an honor, especially here. I mean, I've run the roads a lot, especially this past year I've run on the Singapore track a lot. And just seeing and I feel like driving there would be a big honor for me. And like I said, I think the Grand Prix has been on ever since I was born, so it'll be a great honor, yeah.
Thanks for watching. To stay up to speed on all things Formula One, make sure you hit the subscribe button.